What if I told you someone close to you will probably lie to you today, and you won't even notice? The truth is, lying is part of everyday life. Friends do it, family does it, coworkers do it. The question isn't whether people lie. The question is whether you can spot it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is asking questions that are too easy to answer. Instead of asking, "Did you go out last night?" ask something that assumes the event happened. For example, "What made you stay out so late?" Suddenly, they have to explain themselves instead of giving a simple yes or no. Another trick is to watch the first few seconds after asking a question. Most people focus on the answer, but those first moments can reveal a lot. Long pauses, sudden changes in voice, looking away, or unusual nervous movements can sometimes signal discomfort. One sign means nothing, but several signs together can be worth paying attention to. There's also something called establishing a baseline. Before discussing anything important, notice how someone normally talks, moves, and behaves. Once you know their normal behavior, changes become much easier to spot. If someone suddenly acts very differently when a certain topic comes up, that can be revealing. Another useful technique is asking about the same event in different ways later in the conversation. People telling the truth usually remember real experiences. People inventing stories have to remember the details they created. The more complicated the story, the harder it becomes to keep everything consistent. Pay attention to language too. When people aren't confident, they often rely on words like maybe, probably, I think, or I guess. That doesn't automatically mean they're lying, but it can suggest uncertainty. One of the biggest clues is when someone suddenly changes the subject. If a conversation is moving towards something uncomfortable and they immediately try to talk about something else, it may be a sign they'd rather avoid the topic. And here's a simple one most people miss. Ask follow-up questions. The more details someone has to explain, the harder it becomes to maintain a made-up story. Truth is usually easier to describe because it actually happened. But remember something important. No single sign proves a person is lying. Nervous people can look suspicious while honest people can forget details. These clues are useful because they help you pay closer attention, not because they guarantee the truth. The best lie detectors aren't people who jump to conclusions. They're people who observe carefully, ask better questions, and stay patient long enough for the real story to reveal itself.